Well, if you know me, you might know that I don't really like cigars all that much. I gotta say, this is a pretty nice one, actually. It's called Don Thomas. And I'll tell you, I wouldn't be smoking it if I had to pay for it myself. But luckily, that wasn't the case. So, sometimes it's like when life gives you cigars, you smoke them. It's kind of like that lemonade expression, something like that. Right. Yeah, that's about right. But no, realistically, it's actually not that bad of a cigar. And it's just the victory of being able to smoke them. Since they apparently cost about €5 each. I mean, that's not bad, I guess. And why am I smoking it? Well, because basically it's free. It's a symbol of luck. Because I found them on the ground. And it just kind of made me think, life is weird. Or at least my life is pretty weird. Children, you know, they're always making annoying sounds constantly. But we're going to deal with it. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, maybe there's a castle up in the background there. That's, yeah. Some type of castle, anyway. Cool, I guess, right? Good enough spot to make a video is what I was thinking, but anyway, I'm just rambling here, but I just wanted to share some random anecdotes because why not? And for example, like the story of how I got my cigars. Well, basically, I was just trying to take a ferry to Turkey here, and when I was walking through the terminal, the security guard was like, "Hey, make sure you put your bags through the scanning machine." Like, I don't know what the hell they're looking for, because there's a lot of, like, nothing illegal in my bag, but there's a lot of things that, like, you might look at and think, like, what the hell has this guy got? Anyway, because they just never usually care, like, not at these customs machines. At the airport is a different story. They always are trying to give me trouble for no reason, but, like, the customs, they're always just kind of like, put your bag through there, and then they don't even look at it. They're just like, okay, good enough, take your stuff. So anyway, I had to do that, which I wasn't going to. I was actually just trying to walk by, and the guy's like, no, you have to do the fun scan machine, whatever it does. What it does, apparently, is make people drop cigars, because when I went to the other side of the machine and picked up my bag, I bent down and looked, and there's just an unopened pack of cigars there. I guess someone must have got from the duty free or something. And I was like, I'll take those. I mean, I don't really like cigars even that much, but free cigars, a free cigar, I guess, isn't it? Turns out they're pretty good ones. And I like that, you know. I like that. But weird things always happening like this. Like, I missed this ferry in Athens. Maybe you might have seen my last video, and kind of caused a slightly unfortunate string of events. But then I ended up getting a nice room on this island here, where I went in Greece at least. And then I took a nice ferry ride over to Turkey, and I found some free cigars on the ground. And then the internet wasn't working on my phone. I got an eSIM and it just wasn't working at all. Which, I mean, I've been enough places I can get around without them now, but it is inconvenient, you know. But I was doing everything the old-fashioned way. I was just like, looking at the map, like, okay, this is where I gotta go, and then I was like asking people, like, it's like the old days, man. Had to go up to people and be like, where do I go? Tell me the right way. And they did. The people here in Turkey so far are really nice, actually, really, really helpful. And I said that to one of them. They're like, yeah, we like to help people, and that's cool. It seems like some of them are, yeah, they like to help each other, and so far they've been really quite helpful to foreigners as well. So then when I got to the metro station, because I knew I had to take this one train to this hostel I was trying to stay at, I get to the metro and the machine is broken down, the ticket machine. I'm like, well, what the heck? How am I supposed to take the metro then? And these people are like, I'm like asking them, like, do you speak English? What's going on here? They're like, yeah, the machine's broken. We don't know what to do. I'm like, well, and then some other guy comes up. He's like, do you need help? I'm like, yeah, I just kind of want to get on the metro, to be honest. And he's like, come here, I got you. And he scanned his pass for me so I could get in. I was like, oh, right on. But then I seen that there was gates that you had to like scan your card or your pass to get out when you get to the stop. And I'm like, oh, well, we're going to see how this is going to work out. So I took the metro on the gratuity of this guy, which was quite cool. And when I get to the other side, I'm thinking like, okay, let's see what's going to happen. I walk out, and for some reason, the gates where you scan your pass, they were closed. Like they were out of order or something. So they just had one of them open so everyone could just walk through. And I was like, that's a weird thing, Divine intervention, some might say. Or maybe just good luck. Depends how you want to look at it. And then a weird thing, when I was trying to leave the metro, there was an escalator, so I take the escalator, and literally right when the escalator gets to the top, it suddenly just breaks down. Like right when I was about to step off, it just goes and stops. And I was like, what the heck? And there's a bunch of people behind me on the escalator. They're looking around, and I was like, well, good for me, I guess. And I just walk straight off, and then they start climbing up. And I was thinking, that was kind of weird. But yeah, like, many interesting experiences, and good ones and bad ones. But do they balance each other out? I guess generally yes. But recently I stayed at a place, this hostel, in Izmir, in Turkey. It was like a little bit, it was okay. It didn't look that bad. Like, it wasn't fancy or anything, but turned out they had bed bugs. So, yeah, when I woke up this morning, I had a rude awakening. I was very not happy about that situation. But it seems, hopefully, that I'm in the clear, that they hadn't fucking latched on to me. I don't think so. I think they'll stay in the goddamn bed until someone takes care of them, hopefully. Hopefully they do that very quickly, but this was not a nice way to wake up this morning, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, just a shitty thing, but it's like, I also got a free bus ride in Greece, and I also got a free pack of cigars. And I also, when I came to check into this place, I was supposed to be booked into like a dorm room. And when I got here, the guy for some reason was confused and didn't see my booking properly and just put me in a private room with like a nice bed, nice private bathroom and everything. And I'm like, sometimes things just work out, I guess. Sometimes you just find decent quality and surprisingly not bad tasting cigars on the ground. But one more really funny story that I want to share today is like, this morning when I was trying to leave the place, I was just walking to the train station. Walking past the police station on the way there, and I see this big group of police guys, and I'm like, oh boy, like they're gonna mess with me, aren't they? And sure enough, as soon as they see me, they're like, hey, come here. And I don't know what the hell they're saying, maybe different languages. They're like, get over here. And I was just debating ignoring them at first because I was kind of like, fuck you. Like, I'm walking down the street here, man. Like, leave me alone. And they're like, show me your passport. I'm like, what a weird place, you know. And I was told about this, that like the police here and the government can be quite authoritarian. And well, this was my sort of experience with it, I guess. And it was really just quite a weird experience in many ways, because the police officer is like, yells at me like, get over here, and he comes up to me, and he's like holding his cell phone and his sunglasses in his one hand like this, and in his other hand he's just holding this huge bunch of grapes. And I'm like, what do you want? He's like, show me your passport. I'm like, kind of like, whatever, I'm not going to argue with this guy, I'm not doing anything wrong. Okay, here's my passport. And he's like well, I can't take it, like, hold my grapes. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, hold my grapes. And I'm like, he's like, here, like, eat them. And I'm like, what? I don't want your grapes, bro. And he's like, just hold my grapes while I scan your passport, and you can eat my grapes while I check your passport. I'm like, what? What the heck is going on right now? Like, and then I just started kind of laughing, because I'm like, are you for real right now? Like, so, and then I'm just standing there holding this big bunch of grapes when the guy's like looking at my passport, and I'm like, he's like, eat them. I'm like, I guess I gotta eat them, so I start just snacking on these grapes. And then he kind of is like laughing at me too. He's like, because he just saw I wasn't being serious, I think, and then he's like, all right, whatever, you're good to go, man. And he like gives me my passport back. And then I try to give him the grapes back, and a big piece breaks off, and I'm like holding this big piece. He's like, it's okay, keep them, they're yours now. I'm like, okay. So then I'm just walking down the street eating these grapes. Like, I got accosted by slightly tyrannical or like authoritarian police officer for essentially no reason, but at least I got some free grapes out of the deal, you know. So, yeah, you know, like I said, things just work out sometimes, I guess, right? But it also makes me think, like, is this for real? Like, what is going on here? Is this world that we live in even real, you know? But then again, if the guy was too serious and too perfect, the police officer, that would almost make it more fake, wouldn't it? Like, he's human, he's got to eat. And I guess he decided he was going to eat some grapes. And then for some reason he decided, I'm going to give this guy trouble, this traveler guy trouble, make sure he's got the proper documents. And I'm going to give him some of my grapes. I mean, whatever floats your boat, I guess, you know. But it's just a weird world. But yeah, other than that, just normal stuff, you know. Went to this city today called Ephesus, something like that. I'm not good with pronouncing these names properly. But if you know Ephesians from the Bible, you'd know that it's about this city, Ephesus. And basically, it's just a very famous ancient Greek city. The Apostle Paul lived there. Apparently, Alexander the Great was born there. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't really know if he's that great or not. I was kind of wondering, did he get that name in this lifetime? Or in his lifetime, rather? Like, was he alive? Were people like, Alexander the Great? Or was that long after he died? And the historians wrote about this. I actually don't know. But he seems kind of like a dick, honestly. Yeah, especially if in his lifetime he made people call him the Great. It'd kind of be like, really, dude? I don't think you're that great. Kind of sound like a douche, honestly. But, interesting place nonetheless, you know? That's about it. Now we just sit out here, smoke a free premium cigar. Yeah, I guess you could call it premium. It's not like top notch, but it's definitely not some bottom of the barrel crap, man. Like, these are, like I said, these are pretty good actually. I'm no cigar connoisseur, but basically it doesn't taste like rat's ass. It doesn't. I don't hate it, and I don't really like cigars, so that says something. Smoke's way too strong when you accidentally breathe it in, but it just feels right, you know. Sometimes life is just telling you, smoke a cigar. When a pack of premium cigars just happens to land in your lap, best thing you can do is smoke them, I guess. But, you know, kind of the point of all this, like, the ups and the downs, like, missing ferries, missing buses, which has happened to me, you know, losing my luggage in the past, dealing with bed bugs, but also other things like mosquitoes. I don't know, just people trying to scam me. It's also a lot of things where things are just worked out. I get free things and weird, sort of, almost kind of unsuspecting miracles or small events of fortune. I think the point, though, what I'm trying to say here, is you just gotta enjoy it all. Take it for what it is. 'Cause that's life. It's up and it's down. And it's kind of unpredictable sometimes. It could always be worse. It could always be better. Man, I wish I enjoyed cigars a lot more. This would be a way cooler thing. Maybe next time I'll luck out and I'll find a whole case of beer that's somehow cold. Like, I'll just be walking, be like, wow, look, there's a case of beer on the ground. And it's ice cold somehow. Like as if somebody put my name on it. Stranger things have happened. But I mean, look at this, you know? A couple days ago, I went from sleeping in the streets in Greece basically living like a bum. Just sitting at a decent pension with a private room, smoking a nice cigar and having a beer on the deck. That's what I mean. Ups and downs, you know. Keeps it interesting. As I always like to say, enjoy the shit. Somehow you even gotta take enjoyment in the stupid and the shitty things. Because that's your only choice. Because if something bad is happening and then your attitude is also bad, well, it's just a double negative. You're just making it worse. And two negatives don't make a positive. I don't know how this math rule doesn't really apply to like real life, you know. Because if you're negative and the situation's negative, it's just double negative, which is double shit. So if you can enjoy the shit, if the situation is shitty, but you can say, well, this is pretty funny. Or like, that's my favorite way to deal with it. Stuff like this. It's like when I was sleeping in the street, like in this park, and where I'm like in an abandoned building next to a park, and the park is just full of all these like gypsies sleeping on mattresses. You know, and I was thinking, well, this is pretty funny actually. I never really thought I'd be sleeping in the street next to a whole bunch of gypsies. You know, it was a terrible sleep, but it was a good experience. That's just the way you gotta look at things, man. I mean, obviously, the worse the situation is, the harder that is to do. Like, I mean, if you like lost a limb or got like deathly ill, it might be kind of hard to see the bright side in that, maybe. But, you know, for a saint, for a yogi, one of their kind of axioms, or no, not an axiom, dictum, something like this. One of their kind of codes of conduct, so to speak, is that a saint must be content in any situation. And this famous saint, I guess, wrote this saying that goes, "A sad saint is a sad saint." And I mean, definitely, most of us are not saints. But we can try. And, of course, most of us will never achieve anything even close to what perfection might be conceptualized as, but we can try. And for your own sake, it's worth trying to just be content. Getting hurt sucks. Getting sick sucks. Losing stuff, getting stolen from, you know, dealing with large amounts of discomfort from any sort of source. It sucks. But somehow you have to embrace the suck. That's the point. And if it helps, just also think about how it balances out with the good stuff, if you're lucky. Because I kind of also believe, you know, everyone has like a finite amount of luck. And I guess it's kind of like a similar belief to karma in these Eastern philosophies. But luck, I think you can create for yourself and you can use it up. And it's your choice most of the time how you want to use it. But if you're always putting yourself in bad situations, creating bad karma for yourself, don't be surprised if you have bad luck. But then again, if something bad happens, but you've been trying to do the right thing, then don't be surprised if somehow you end up finding some good luck. And be careful what you spend your luck on. Like if you're always doing things that are extremely dangerous, eventually your luck's going to run out, as they say. Same thing if you're just acting badly. Then your luck might run out. Yeah. This beer, Carlsberg, nothing special. But it does the job. I need something to go with this damn cigar. Because it's just, like I said, it's just a nice thing. Chilling out here with a beer and a cigar. This makes me think life ain't that bad sometimes. Oh. But if you really want to look at it the way I do, I kind of think, well, life's kind of funny. And that's the best way to do it. It's kind of like the Joker, I guess. If you look at your life like a comedy, then maybe it won't be so painful.